Welcome back. This is the part of the show that I like to call All Hart. And this week we wanted to talk about Strides for Stroke. It's a special event that is happening next month. Here to talk about it is its founder, Toby Mazer, and she's joined by Dr. Paul Katz. He's the director of the stroke program at Temple Hospital. Welcome to you.
Welcome.
Toby, now tell me how this all started. You're the founder, and where did you begin with this?
Well, unfortunately, I began when my late husband, Dr. Howard Mazer, had a ruptured cerebral brainstem aneurysm, and he was in a coma for 4 months. He was on a respirator for 8 months. He wasn't able to swallow for 2 years, and there were no resources within our region that I could turn to for any kind of support or advice or anything. We were in the nihilistic age of a stroke at that time, and when he started to get better, I just made up my mind that I was going to, my mission in life was to create a grassroots organization that would be available to provide information to stroke survivors and their families, and increase access, or help them increase access to the services that are so much needed by stroke patients or survivors, and they have no way to find out about them.
Well, you have an event coming up, which we'll get to in a moment, but talk about some of the things that you do during the year, because in addition to the event, you're also around in other ways for people.
Well, I really try to help. I think I've been put on this earth to help people overcome catastrophes in their life, medical catastrophes. So I get personal calls all the time. I did work for 20 years at Jefferson, doing community outreach and education and assisting families and doing the very thing that I have the passion for. I don't feel as if it's work to me. It's my mission, and it's my personal passion. I'm now working with Capital Institute for Neurosciences. I'm pretty much doing the same thing, just increasing awareness throughout the region, as well as being involved in the Delaware Valley Stroke Council.
Tell me, what's some basic information that people need to know about having a stroke?
So, really, stroke is a major public health problem, and I think we are about 10 or 15 years behind where the cardiologists are regarding heart attack. And everybody knows if you have a heart attack to get to the hospital rapidly, and it's really the same for stroke. And so the key really is to recognize what the signs and symptoms for stroke are. And it occurs to me that even subtle signs and symptoms would have to be recognized. So we have an algorithm that was designed by the American Heart Association called FAST, like the word. It stands for face, arm, speech, and time. And this was a project that was done to educate children how to recognize adults who are having a stroke. And it came about because many children are raised by their grandparents these days. And so what it entails is we look for a facial droop, or we ask the patient to hold out the arms and see if the arms drift or doesn't move, for example. And speech has to do with language. So either the patient has slurred speech or is not making the right words. And T stands for time, and time really is of the essence. So we now have treatment for acute stroke that can effectively eliminate or reduce the effects of a stroke, but it must be given within 3 hours of the onset of symptoms. So the T stands for time, and it would signal people to call 911.
And quickly before we have to go, you have the big event coming up, Strides for Stroke. It's a 5K walk-run. Tell us a little bit about that.
It's going to be this year on June the 8th. On the Parkway, starting in front of the Art Museum. The event is named in memory of my late husband, Dr. Howard Mazer, so it's near and dear to my heart. And we usually get a turnout anywhere about 600-700 people, up to 1,000. And we try to focus on the stroke survivors and their caregivers, and they come out in teams, and we really do make them feel very important. It is really their day.
Thank you very much for coming and sharing that information with us today. We really appreciate it.